tall. Good. And she will be starting with a breathing practice. So just join in to that, and let's start. Let's start. Shall we? Are you ready to rumble? Let's go. Let's do this.
Soft and your face really soft. So we're gonna do a pranayama or a breathing exercise called equal breathing. I'll guide you into it, then we'll just do about 10 rounds of breath, and then we'll start with our deep stretch. So go ahead and empty out your breath to begin. And then we're going to take a deep inhale through the nose to the count of 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just pause your breath at the top and then exhale through your nose to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little pause at the bottom of the breath, and again inhale to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through your nose, slow and steady. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to let you continue to breathe on your own. If you need to change the pace or the count of your breath, feel free to do that. Make it comfortable, but try to have your inhales equal the length of your exhales. Couple more breaths here in your seated position. Last inhale and exhale. If your eyes are closed, open your eyes. Continue to breathe steadily throughout your practice. Go ahead, if you're not already on your shins, go ahead and come onto your shins.
Let's go.
And then go ahead and tuck your toes underneath you. Spread your toes wide so that all of your toes are in contact with your mat. And then sit your weight back on your heels. And once again, find an upright spine. In this position, continue to breathe in and out through your nose because it can get intense pretty quickly. So this class is going to be structured working our way up from our toes to the crown of our head. So the first half of this class is going to be focused on the lower half of the body. Midway through class, we're going to do one strength building posture that includes legs, core, and arms. It's optional, of course. So the second half of the class will be focused on the upper half of the body. So if you're looking for one specific thing, you can basically make your way halfway through class if you're looking just to do shoulder and upper neck work. So we're going to just take a couple more breaths in this posture called Toes Pose, and then we'll work toward the tops of the feet and the ankles. So one more breath here.
Toes pose.
Go ahead and rock your way forward. Give your feet a little bit of a shake. Get the blood flowing back into your toes, your joints, your ankles. Really good posture for the health of your feet and your ankles. Now keep the tops of your feet flat to the floor. Sit your hips back again on your heels. And this time, if it's accessible to you, rock your weight back and lift your knees up. If you have an ankle injury, this is not the best posture for you, so go ahead and skip it. If it feels like a stretch just to have your knees down on the ground and your ankles resting on the ground, just take that position. So you just tilt your knees back as much as you can to the point where it's
I think
a little bit uncomfortable because you're getting a stretch, but there's no pain.
Before
no
going
pain
into
ever
like
in any of these postures.
But I guess
Take
that's
about
what we're doing
3
today.
more breaths in this position. Again, focus on long, slow, steady inhales and exhales through your nose.
This is super, super heavy, I think.
For your last breath, maybe lift your knees just a tad bit higher. And then go ahead, if your knees are lifted, rest them back on the floor. And do the same thing we just did after our last posture. Give your feet a little bit of a shake. Feel the blood rushing back in. You can even flex your toes under if that feels good. Just releasing the posture here. So continue to stay on your hands and your knees. And then we're going to take a calf stretch. So go ahead and extend your right leg, or either leg, it doesn't matter. We're going to do both. Extend your right leg out behind you. And again, tuck your toes under. And then start to press your heel all the way back. So you feel a stretch in your Achilles tendon and a stretch in your calf.
Today. She holds it.
And then we're going to bump this stretch up to the outer hip. So go ahead and take your extended leg and just cross it over your bent leg, your left leg. And once again, tuck your toes under and then actively bump your right hip to the right and start to peek out towards your right toes. So peek out behind you and you'll feel a stretch on the outside of your right hip and your side. And come back to center and we'll switch sides. So extend your left leg out behind you, tuck your toes under, press back through your left heel. So again, the further you push yourself, the more stretch you're going to feel. So you want to feel a deep stretch, and again, no pain. You should feel this in your Achilles tendon and your calf on your left side. All right, now take your left leg, cross it over your right leg. Again, tuck your toes under, press your heel back, and then actively bump your hips to the left and look towards your left toes. So you feel a stretch in your right side, your outer edge of your left hip, or sorry, your left side.
Yeah, I like this one. This is a cool one.
And then come back to center so that you're in a tabletop position. All right, so working our way up now, we're going to take a stretch for the knees and the quadriceps, or your thighs, the tops of your legs. So bring your knees together and then separate your feet. The tops of your feet are going to continue to stay flat to the floor. You're going to start to sit your hips back between your heels.
Nope.
Once again, if you have a block or something that looks like a block, you're tight in the hips or the knees, you can sit at any height on your block. Okay, the other option, if you don't have a block or if this is not accessible to you at all, this is called hero pose. You can come back and sit hips to heels. This might feel like a big stretch for your knees and your thighs.
This doesn't feel like hero pose, you know.
You're very open in your knees and your thighs,
yeah,
and you want a deeper stretch. The last option is to recline backwards. So you can take your hands out behind you, lift your chest. You can take your your elbows to the floor, maybe the crown of your head, Maybe you can come all the way down onto your back, which I cannot do in this moment,
Be
so I'm not going
careful here what you're doing, right?
But it
So
would
make
just
sure
look like laying on the floor with your arms
feels good
up
to you.
overhead. We'll take about 3 more breaths in this position. Continue to breathe deeply in and out through your nose. If this is a very intense posture for you and you find that you're clenching your jaw or your face, go ahead and try to relax your jaw and your face.
Today
Last
we
breath.
stretch a little.
If you're reclined, any variation of that, make your way back up. And to release from the pose, we're gonna come back into that tabletop position. So just press forward, plant your hands on the floor, and maybe take that quick calf stretch where you press your foot back on both sides just to get the blood flowing back into your knees. Okay, so working our way up the body from the knees, quadriceps, we're gonna move into the inner thighs now. So from your tabletop position, extend your right leg to the right, place your heel directly behind your toes, and then you can stay here. If this feels like a big stretch for your inner thigh on your right side, just stay here. Otherwise, tuck your left toes back under again and sit your hip back towards your heel. So the moment you do that, your stretch is going to intensify in your right inner thigh. And then if you even want more, you can start to walk your hands forward. Maybe rest your forehead down on your hands or the floor. You can extend your arms long. There's lots of options here, so you just need to listen to your body and adjust for maybe each side or for each day you do this practice. It's going to be different. So take 3 more breaths wherever you are
How does
in
that
this
feel to you guys?
stretch for your inner
How's your
thigh.
day going? Welcome in, everybody. How do you like this setup behind me? Isn't it cool? I like it. You know, I like it. So soon we will have some people joining in, right? And then they will practice behind me. That's amazing, right? Isn't that amazing? So looking forward to that.
Make your way back up to that tabletop position and we'll switch sides. So you're going to extend your left leg out to the left, position your
like
heel
this.
behind your toes, and then tuck your right toes under. Sit your hip back to your heel. And again, you can stay here. You can sit back. If you want to go a little bit deeper, maybe you just rest your forehead down. Maybe you extend your arms long. And once again, this side may be different than your other side, so make adjustments. The pose doesn't have to look exactly the same on both sides, but we want to practice both sides. And we'll take about 3 more deep inhales and exhales wherever you are.
I like that she teaches together with the breath here. That's good. It's good what she's doing. I don't know about this cold stretching thing, you know. Just getting into stretches from the very beginning on.
Okay,
Don't know if that is
to
good.
your tabletop position.
But I
And
would
make your
do
way
that,
to a
but
seated
she does
position
it,
now.
so-
We're going to focus on our hamstrings, the back of the top of your leg. So we'll start with a very basic pose called seated forward fold. Extend your legs out in front of you. If your legs are very bent today, that's absolutely fine.
Just sit like this.
We're working in the direction of straight legs. And wherever you are, try to be in a position where you can keep your spine upright. So if that means bending your legs so you can sit up straight, that's kind of what we're working toward right now. So as you begin to gain more flexibility in your hamstrings, you can start to walk your feet a little bit more forward. Again, if you're maintaining your upright spine. So this position, this is actually called staff pose right here, is challenging in and of itself. It is a stretch for the hamstrings, and it
and
requires some
will
strength
men,
in your
in
back.
these positions,
okay, so what I want you to avoid is this position, and instead, even if your legs are bent, try to stay upright. So if your legs are straight and your hamstrings are feeling a little more open, you want to go deeper, of course, you can start to walk your hands towards your feet. Okay, this is going to look different for every single person based on just the flexibility here in the backs of your legs,
your lower
back, maybe your hips, your hip flexors. Wherever you are, take about 3 more deep breaths in and out through your nose.
You know, it just really doesn't feel good. And I think as soon as you can lean a little bit forward, it's getting just so much easier. That if you can't lean forward, this position is just like bad. And it feels really bad, really strenuous, at least from my experience.
If you're folded forward, just come all the way back up. We're going to take another stretch for the back of your leg. This time we're going to take your right leg off to the right at about a 45-degree angle. Try to keep your toes pointed straight up, and then take your left foot and place it towards your right inner thigh. So you're making a little figure 4 position. This is just a slight twist in your spine. So the first thing you're going to do from the way you're facing is you're going to rotate so your shoulders face your toes. And then once again, with an upright spine, your toes facing up, flexed back, so you're using a little bit of strength in your quadricep. You're going to start to walk your hands forward.
How are you doing?
And lean over your right leg. And again, that might look for you today like this. That's fine, as long as you feel a stretch in the back of your leg. You should also, because it's a slight twist, you're going to feel a bit of a stretch in your lower back, specifically on your left side, probably.
Yeah, I'm working up here. I'm working up here.
And this is your last full breath in this position. Long, slow exhale and release. And then of course we have to do it on both sides. So switch sides. Your left leg will extend out to about a 45-degree angle. You take your right foot to your left inner thigh, pressing your knee toward the floor. If it looks like this, no worries. Face your left toes straight up and flex them back so you feel a little activity on the top of your leg. And then again, you're going to rotate your shoulders now to the left, slight twist in your spine so you're facing your left foot. You can stay upright or you can start to walk your hands toward your foot.
How do you like the setup like this? You know, I think it's
so
cool.
As you work with your breath
her behind
in
me.
any of these poses, try to focus on lengthening during your inhale,
Friday
so that would look like lengthening your spine,
YouTube
and then deepening
yoga.
into your
Remember
stretch
that?
on your exhale.
If you like these
so
lessons,
as you breathe out,
drop in
long
every
and
Friday.
slow and smooth,
If you have
even
any-
if it's just a very, very minute movement that's not even visible, try to let that breath, that big, long, slow exhale guide you deeper toward your goal, which is more flexibility and more connection to your breath. So we'll take one more long inhale and exhale in this position.
Next, what YouTube video? Feel free to jump into Discord. Tell us like, oh yeah, let's do my video. Do my video.
And release. All
All
right, we're gonna work into some hip stretches. We'll start first in a seated position called butterfly pose. It's probably familiar to most people. It's a common stretch, a pose for a post-workout stretch. So you place your feet, the soles of your feet together. You're gonna press your knees toward the floor. And again, it's okay if they're very high up. If you need more support in your hips, you can always sit on a block to keep your spine upright.
You see what's happening with me if I'm doing this? My lower back starts to
If you want to go
round a lot,
deeper
you
into
know.
your stretch,
I can press
you
myself
can
into it. But it's
press
going
your
to be-
elbows towards your
I'm not
knees
coming
and hinge
completely up
forward.
and I'm falling back. So that's why I'm sitting up. Meep. But a little bit of stretching today. It's good, I guess.
Release if you're folded forward. We're going to move into a posture known as fire log pose. I'm going to face you to do this posture. This is a very deep hip stretch. If you're not on a yoga mat, imagine that you have a line in front of you going straight across. You want your shin nice and parallel with that line, okay? That imaginary line, or if you're on a yoga mat, with your yoga mat.
This is a very deep
Then you're gonna
stretch.
place, I'm just starting here with my left leg on bottom, but it doesn't matter which leg, we're gonna do both.
I'm not
And
sure
take
what
your
she's
right
doing.
leg and place it on top,
Oh.
stacking it. So take
Fire
your
log pose,
right
so she-
ankle onto your left
Yeah.
knee, and then your right
So make sure
knee
you have
is
some
going to be
blocks or
directly
something next
over
to
your
you.
left ankle. So again, this isn't a cross-legged position, okay? It's a stacked position. Imagine fire logs.
So when you're doing
So
this,
if your knee is way far up, that's fine. I want you to feel a
You bring your
stretch in your
leg
hip and your
or your
glute,
ankle,
and so the way
and
that you
you're
can
kinda
work
like putting some
toward
blocks
that
underneath,
stretch
right
is to
and left,
gently
you know?
press your
Also over
knee
here.
toward your ankle.
So
okay, and again, working with your breath, this might be a very
let's put it here.
small
this is more
movement,
important.
maybe not
So you
even
have something
visible,
in
but
between.
you should be able to feel it.
Holds
And
it
again,
up.
you want to feel a stretch, but no pain. So you just come to that place where you have to access your breath to hold the posture, but you're not feeling like you want to scream out in
Yeah,
pain.
this
That
doesn't
is not
feel
our
that
goal in
great.
yoga ever. You want to be able to maintain a soft jaw, a steady breath. That's what
Books
makes you
also
feel good
work.
after a yoga class, or hopefully during, okay? If you're feeling pretty open in your hips, your knee is pressed
This
down
is
towards your
basically a
ankle,
block.
you always have the option of walking your hands forward and pressing your chest over your legs. Again, you don't need to feel like
Let me
your
put the
pose in this moment
book
needs to
here.
look like my pose. I'm giving you lots of different options. I just want you to feel the stretch. Okay, so we're going to take 3 more breaths wherever you are.
Yeah, does really.
One
not-
last point of alignment. You do want your toes in line with your heel. So your toes are flexed. Okay, they're not pointed, they're flexed. Last inhale. And exhale through your nose.
Like this, that you really feel like, oh yeah, you're getting into the position.
And we're going to switch sides.
Sitting
I'm
up tall
placing my
again,
right
breathing
leg
in
on
deep
bottom.
into your belly,
So
into
just
your
switch your
chest.
legs out and
That you're
left leg on
somehow
top.
safe, you know?
Start by placing your left ankle
Instead of, like,
directly
always, like, working,
onto your right knee.
Where am
And then
I
your
even?
left
right?
knee is going to be pressing down towards your left ankle. Again, this side may look very different than your other side. No worries. Just come to that place where you have a stretch. If that just means gently pressing your hands down. If your knee's already down, you can hinge forward.
Even if it takes some time, you know, it starts to feel good.
We'll take
and
3
this
more
is
breaths
fire-lock
on
position,
this side.
at least from my experience. How is it called? Don't know. Didn't hear what she's calling it. Yay, and change around. Let's go, let's do this. How does that feel? Be honest, it feels really, really good. As soon as you're in the position, right? Remember that key. As soon as you're in the position.
Release from wherever you are. We're going to do one last stretch for the lower body. This position is called seated straddle splits. This accesses your hamstrings, your inner thighs, and your hips. So go ahead and extend your legs from wherever you are out to an angle, both legs out to an angle. Same thing as we did before, we want the toes pointed straight up. If your legs are bent, that's fine. If your legs are barely in a V shape, that's fine also. So focusing again, we don't want to be in a position where the legs are spread wide, but we're hunched over like so. So if that means bringing your legs back together so you can sit upright, great. You can use your hands behind you for support, or if you're feeling pretty open in the inner thighs, you can start to walk your hands forward. Try, if you're taking that position, try to keep your toes pointing up as you lean forward. So try to avoid having the toes come with you as you lean forward. Yeah. Keep the tops of your legs active, and you can do this by flexing your toes back towards your knees.
For me. Yay.
So maybe as you hold the pose, again, the inhale, you lengthen your spine.
Maybe
the exhale, maybe you go just a tad bit deeper. This is how you gain flexibility. As you hold the pose, you work with your breath, and you push yourself just enough that you feel a bit of a difference after you're done holding the pose.
How does that feel to you guys? Keep it up. You're stretching today. You're stretching today.
This is going to be your last
can you see Sean on the side
inhale
of the picture?
And exhale in this position.
Little dragon here. Woo.
Wherever you are, release. You can just take your hands, assist your legs, bring them back together. We'll just take a little counter pose here. So place your feet on the floor, bring your knees together, and then just wrap your arms around your knees. Place your forehead on your knees so you feel a stretch in your upper back. So you now get to round your spine. Take one full breath here. Excellent. Well done. You're about halfway through this yoga practice. We're going to shift from lower body focus to upper body focus, and there's a little bit of all of it when we practice our poses, but we're we're gonna do one strength building posture here. Again, it's optional. If you're not looking for that today, you can obviously just skip it. This involves lower body and upper body and core. So you have a couple of different options. You can either cross your legs in a cross-legged position, your ankles stacked in front of each other. If you're able to, you can take half lotus or full lotus, where you cross one foot into your hip crease and the other foot into your hip crease.
What are we
If
going
that
to
isn't
do?
accessible, no worries at all. The other option, the more challenging option, if you'd like to try it, I'm gonna do this option, is to keep your legs extended out in front of you. And I'll guide you with your legs straight or bent in the same way. So you take your pick. I'm gonna take lotus.
I like to sit up on something, thank you.
So either with your legs crossed or extended, lift your feet off the floor or lift your knees off the floor. Access your core here.
Wow.
A little bit of balance, a little bit of strength.
Yeah.
Take one breath, inhale.
This
And
is not
exhale,
going
either
to
place your
happen.
feet or your knees
I mean,
back
I need
on
to
the
lean
floor.
back to-
Now you're gonna take your hands by your hips and you're just gonna lift your hips up off the floor. So if your legs are extended, again, you're just lifting your hips up off the floor. Takes a little bit of arm strength and a little bit of core strength. Inhale.
I mean, I can't hold my legs
And
where they
you
are
can place your
without
hips
interlocking
back
them.
down on
And
the floor.
her first
Now we're going to
variation
combine the
was
two,
like
so
sitting like
either
this, you know.
legs extended or bent, cross-legged. You're going to lift your feet or knees off the floor. Now keep them up and lift your hips off the floor, and we'll hold for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your hips, feet, knees back onto the floor.
That's
And uncross your
strange.
ankles if they're crossed.
So if you're sitting like
Place
this,
your feet
this
out
is
in
going
front of
to
you
be
with your
super-
knees
super
bent
heavy.
now.
Super
and we're
heavy,
going to take
difficult to hold this
a
position.
posture
Like,
called boat pose or
but if you're
Navasana
straightening your legs,
for
it's
your
easier.
core.
At least
So lift
I
your
feel
feet
like
up off
that.
the floor. Hold your feet either bent or
Strange.
straight, or your legs, sorry, either bent or straight. Keep your chest lifted. Extend your arms forward and hold for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release.
Oops.
All right, as we work our way up toward the upper body, we're going to do some postures
Yeah, everything
for
is
our
recorded
spine.
live,
So there's
so
going to be a
of
little
course
more
some errors are
movement
happening.
here. So we'll start with a common yoga warm-up called cat and cow, and we'll hold it
Still not that big
on
of a
each
threat,
side,
to be
so you can
honest.
feel the stretch first. So come into a tabletop position,
And I see why men
and we'll
are
start
very,
with
or
cow
could be
pose.
very, very annoyed
So
by this
on a deep
because
breath
variation one
in,
is
drop your
completely
belly
not
down
doable.
toward the floor. You're going to lift your
Just in
hips
my
and the crown of
opinion.
your head. So holding it, you should feel the stretch along the front of your body, stretching out your core muscles, which we just worked. And then you should feel the dip of your low back,
I mean, it's doable, but it's just
building
like
some more fluidity in the spine. So now we're going to come into cat pose. So you're going to start to arch or round your spine, lift and separate your shoulders, and then you can look, if you'd like to, toward your belly button. So you feel a stretch also in your neck and your upper back. This is one of my favorite stretches. Feels so good if you carry tightness in your upper back or shoulders. All right, so let's add some movement here with your breath. So as you breathe in, arch your spine into cow pose. As you breathe out, round your spine into cat. And again, long and slow inhales and exhales. Last one of each. Breathe in. Breathe out. and come back to a tabletop position. We're gonna take a stretch for your shoulders, and it is a twist for your spine as well. So 2 things happening at once. Place your right hand right underneath your face and lift your left arm up high so you feel a nice stretch and an opening through the front of your left shoulder and chest. And then you're gonna slide your left arm behind your right and come on to the outside now of your left shoulder. You can place your ear on the floor.
You're fretting the needle
palm
again.
will face up toward the ceiling,
Yeah,
and your
instructs
hips
very
stay
good,
high
I
if
guess.
that's
Better than
accessible
me.
to you. So you should feel a stretch in the outer side of your shoulder. This is a good, gentle stretch
It
for
looks
your
so
neck.
funny,
And it's a little twist in your upper back.
So make sure to bring
On your next breath in,
make
lift
sure
your
to
left
bring
arm
the
all
hip
the way
back
up,
into the
the
middle.
way we started.
So your hips tend to fall in one direction
And
here.
breathe
a little
out,
bit.
place your left
So
hand
make
back
sure to
on your
bring
mat.
the hips back into
Switch
the middle.
sides.
And also
Stick
bring
your left
there
hand
and
right
feel where
underneath your
hips
face.
are.
Lift your right arm up.
Over the knees again.
Feel a stretch and an
Good.
opening in your chest and the inside of your right shoulder.
All the other
And then
cues
slide
she's
that
giving
right
are
arm behind
super
your
amazing.
left. Come onto the outer edge now of your right shoulder. You can place your right ear on the floor. Your palm will face up toward the ceiling or the sky. And let your head be heavy on your mat, so you should not feel any tension in your neck. And take another breath.
So, I mean, she's really doing good.
Breathe in, reach up the same way we began. Feel that stretch and that opening, and release back to tabletop position. Okay, so this is a combo stretch for your hips and your shoulders and upper back. So this is called Child's Pose. You're gonna take your knees wide, bring your big toes to touch, and set your hips back toward your heels. Then you're gonna start to walk your arms forward, and to the best of your ability in this posture, try to keep your arms straight and extended so that you can press your armpits down toward the floor, and you should feel a nice stretch in your shoulders, in your chest, maybe your upper back a little bit. And then definitely with your hips pressing toward your heels, you should feel a stretch in your hips.
It's difficult to do this together with the microphone. No, microphone.
Last breath in Child's Pose.
Way, friend.
Okay, now come back to tabletop position. You're gonna take it one step back with your hips, but one step forward with your shoulders. This is called heart melting pose. So you're gonna keep your hips over your knees this time, and you're gonna walk your arms, again, straight arms, forward and out to a slight angle. And again, keeping your hips over your knees, start to melt your heart toward the floor. So this most likely will feel like a more intense stretch for your shoulders than the first pose, but you know, everybody is different. Some people, if you have really flexible shoulders, you can take your chin forward and actually press your chest to your mat, which I cannot do, but maybe someday. Okay, now you're gonna walk your hands back up. For me, that's a very intense pose. So we're gonna come back to a seated position. Again, like I said at the beginning of class, whatever seated position is comfortable for you, doesn't matter. It's all gonna be a bit of a stretch for the hips, but we're focusing a little bit more on arms now.
2 times the same message after each other.
So the next stretch we're gonna do is called a chest expansion from a seated position. So you can take your hands from whatever position you're at with your legs behind you and interlace your fingers. It's gonna look like this. Okay, so your arms might look like that. No worries. Maybe as you move forward and start to open your shoulders. Your hands can come, the palms of your hands can come together, and maybe your arms can come to a straighter position. But that's just the direction that we're moving toward. If you're very open in your shoulders and your chest, you can press your fists all the way down toward the floor, maybe a slight lift of your chin. And if you want to take it even further and your hips are feeling open, you can always hinge forward and start to reach your arms up. Again, the hinge of the hinge forward is optional if you want to just reach your arms up. But if you want to come all the way down, you can place your forehead on the floor, lift your fists up and over the back of your head, and press the palms of your hands together.
You know, these kind of things don't feel really accessible to me. At the moment, at least. Hey, Mika.
So you can either come back up or release your hands down.
Video. That sounds amazing. How are you doing? Welcome. Good to see you.
So we're going to counter stretch our chest expansion by drawing. We'll just do the right arm first, the right arm across your body. So take the back of your right shoulder with your left hand, extend your right arm straight, really reach through your fingertips, and then gently draw your shoulder down away from your ear, and then draw your arm a little bit closer to your body. Yeah, again, that might just look like this for you today. Wherever you are is fine. I just want you to feel a stretch. Your shoulder, neck, and then we'll just switch sides. So left arm or other arm across your body. Draw your shoulder down away from your ear. Draw your arm a little bit closer to your chest, and then actively reach through your fingertips.
Oh, you see where she has her microphone. Or you hear it.
All right, another stretch for your shoulders. If you have a strap or a towel or a t-shirt accessible and you want to use it, I'll show you how. The direction we're working toward, this is called cow face, arms is, we'll do right arm first, right arm up and over, and left arm behind where you clasp your hands behind you. Okay, so, but I'm going to give you lots of options.
Hey, Mika, yeah.
So that's what we're working toward. If you want to just go right there, great. Other options are to have your elbow pointed up toward the ceiling, and then just take your opposite hand, your left hand in this case, and place it on the top of your elbow. Try to, again, keep your spine upright, so try to avoid hunching over, and then you can just press your hand down your back. And then lastly, if you have a strap or a t-shirt, you can hold one end of your strap in your right hand up and over, and then your other hand can clasp the other end, and you can start to walk your hands toward one another.
Something like that.
These are all options. Should feel a stretch obviously in your shoulder, but also in your tricep, which is the back of your arm. Okay, one more breath, and we'll do the other side.
So this is YouTube yoga every Friday.
Okay, so switch sides.
If you have any kind of request,
know where you're
like,
going now,
you
but
want to see a certain
go
video,
wherever you did on the other side, or maybe this side's a little bit different, but I'll walk you through the options. So option number one is the full clasp behind your back. That's the ultimate expression of this posture. Option number two is to have your left elbow facing the ceiling and your right hand pressing gently down on your left elbow, your hand walking down your back. Option three, hold onto a strap with your left hand, and then reach behind you for the other end of the strap or t-shirt or whatever you have with your right hand, and then start walking your hands towards one another. And just hold here. Big breaths in and out through your nose. Try to keep them slow and steady.
And yeah, Mika, this is the new microphone. Have you seen it before? This is the microphone I ordered. So excited. Thank you.
Release. Okay, the next stretch we're going to do is very
I
basic.
wanted to write you thank you already, but I didn't.
Be mindful, the neck is very sensitive.
So
sit upright, make sure that your neck is tall and long, and then just place your right ear on your right shoulder.
That doesn't feel good, to be honest.
So you can have your right hand on top of your head and gently guide it toward your right ear. You can also extend your left arm long and away from you. Try to place your fingertips on the floor. That just increases the stretch. These are all just options. But again, being very mindful of your neck. It's a sensitive area. So you don't want to crank anything, and you really want to be aware of your alignment. So this is really not a good neck stretch, so try to avoid that. Again, keeping long, using your breath, and switch sides. So you can just have your hands on your knees, left ear toward left shoulder. Maybe this is what your posture looks like today. Other options are to take your left hand on top of your head, guide your left ear.
So just do your variation,
toward your left shoulder.
You make
and then another option,
so
extend your right arm long.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Fingertips towards the floor. Maybe they don't touch the floor, that's fine.
You know, the first few times,
just
or the first time I used it, it was like, okay, this feels really strange. I'm not sure if it works.
Feel
but
really
right
good
now I kind of like gain
a little bit
confidence in it
good.
somehow, a little bit, and it's going great. How's your day going, Mika?
Okay, release, and then lastly, and again, this is very mindful movement, very gentle. I'm going to show you from the side. Just slightly extend your chin forward and then down toward your chest. Okay, but your spine is upright. So common mistake with this movement is to round and crunch. So if it looks bad, it should, because this is not good for you. Okay, instead, even if you don't go very far, you're upright, your chin comes slightly forward and down toward your chest. This is extension, really getting into the muscles of the neck and upper back. If you're mindful and it feels good, you can just take some very slow and gentle rocks.
Yeah, and I'm sitting up on something. Feel free to sit up on something. She's obviously a very experienced yogi with like stretching and so on.
And come back up. Okay, we're going to move a little bit back down our body now, but we're going to do some more stretches for your spine and back. So come onto your back, lay down on your back with your knees bent. The next pose we're going to do in yoga is called bridge. In gymnastics, it's got a different name. Bridge is the full wheel, but this is called bridge pose.
It's fun, you know,
place your feet on the floor, knees pointing up, hands alongside your body. Press into your heels and then lift your hips up off the floor.
Right.
Okay, so this is option 1. Option 2 is to do a supported bridge. Again, if you have a block or something that looks like a block and you'd like to use it, you can take it to any height and then rest your hips down. So it's more of a passive pose, but you can potentially go a little bit deeper into the back bend. Okay. And then option number 3 is to take a chest expansion like we did earlier. This time it's from a bridge position. So you can take your hands underneath you, interlace your fingers, and then roll onto the outer edges of your shoulders. And then lift your hips a little bit higher. But keep your chin away from your chest. So again, no crunching
Did
of your
anything
neck.
come into action already,
or
anything manifested itself already? No?
Release down, back onto the ground. I'm going to give you one more opportunity for a back bend here. I'm going to give you 3 options. You can take bridge, which is what we just did. Again, you can take full wheel, which is a back bend. I'll show you in a second. Or you can take camel pose, which I'll show you now. So if you're going to take camel pose, you'll need to come back up onto your knees If you know where you're going and what
Great
pose
day
you want, you
here.
can get right
Thanks.
into
I'm
it.
receiving video
Take camel
files, so I'll
pose,
only be
come up onto
on
your
the screen
shins,
briefly, but I was
take your
excited to
hands
see
to your
you.
low
Thank you.
back, press your
Appreciate
hips
that.
forward,
All the
lift your
best
chin
of,
off
like,
your
the
chest.
video editing you have going
You're gonna
on.
hold here, or if you'd like to go deeper,
And I hope to see
you
you
can
very,
take
very
your
soon,
hands
Mika.
towards your heels. Okay, that's option for camel. Bridge we just did, so you know what that looks like. Wheel. You'll just flip your hands over by your
Again,
ears or
if
your
you're doing
shoulders.
the camel, you can also put on over
Elbows
something
point
over
up,
your
press
heels,
into your hands,
make
press
it
into
more
your feet.
accessible to the
And
beginners.
lift everything
Really
up off
recommend
the
that
floor.
for everybody. Bring one hand, even if you're more advanced.
So
and
wherever
don't
you
know
are,
this,
take one more
hand
breath.
to the back, then the other hand over your back, over your heels.
Big inhale.
And then push your hips forward. Your head is in line with the spine.
Big exhale.
Feel how you're pushing your hips forward. And kind of like work with your hips here.
And release.
And slowly
We're going to take a
release,
stretch
come
for
back.
the upper spine, and this is a big chest opener,
back up
similar
straight.
to camel, which I just showed you. Come
Like
back
not
up to a
one.
seated
Yeah,
pose,
you can go one
or a seated
first and then
position.
the other, it
This is
works
called
as well.
fish pose. Extend your legs long, and then you're going to make your way onto your forearms. So just take your forearms down
this
to your
one.
mat. Spread your fingers wide so that your palms are flat to the floor. And then actively lift your chest toward the ceiling, so you're going to open the front side of your body and you're going to roll your shoulders back. Okay, now you have the option here of releasing the crown of your head, the top of your head, all the way back down onto your mat. This is a good chest and throat opener. Got a little block behind me.
Oh God. She keeps her.
Actively breathe into your chest. So feel your chest rise and fall as you hold this position.
Yeah, I guess it's right.
Okay. This time you're going to release all the way down onto your back. And this is another posture that's really good for your spine. We have not done a lot of them throughout class, but it's a twist. So twists are good for your spine. They're also good for your digestive organs. This is a very simple supine twist.
Fish is difficult.
Bring your knees up either to 90 degrees, or if you'd like to and it's a little more comfortable, you can bring them a little bit closer to your chest like you're a little ball. Either way, bring your arms into extension. You can have them like in a goalpost position, or you can have them in a T position. You're going to take your knees, whether they're in a ball or 90 degrees, and release them to the right. And you can place, if you'd like to, your right hand onto your left knee, and then you're going to take your gaze toward your left hand, whether it's bent or straight.
Here it's important that you have both shoulders on the floor and really breathe in deep into your belly, into your chest. Probably just going to say it in a moment.
And then you're going to release and take it to the other side. So bring your knees back to center. And again, 90 degrees or a ball. Bring your knees now to the left. And gaze to the right. In these postures on the floor, any posture that you're comfortable with, you can always close your eyes. It brings a little more softness to the posture.
Using your breath as a tool here, breathing in deep into your belly, into your chest. Using your breath as a tool means that you're creating maybe an additional stretch with your breath. So breathing in very, very, very deep.
Come back to center. Extend your legs back onto the floor so you're nice and long. This posture is to stretch out your side, and it's also, again, really good for your spine because you're getting flexion in a different direction. So you're going to take your legs to the left of you, from center to the left. Keep your hips where they are. Now take your shoulders to the left also, so in the direction of your feet. Try to keep your right hip and your right shoulder flat to the floor. If you roll off to the side, you're not going to feel as much of a stretch. But if you are rolled off to the side, that's okay. Just start to press your hip down toward the floor. Okay, now if you want to take it a little bit deeper, your next option is to cross your ankles, one over the other.
Anything.
You can experiment with both sides and decide which one is more of a stretch.
Okay,
and then the last option is to cross your arms up overhead and take opposite hand to opposite elbow. If you want to, again, close your eyes and then really just notice the stretch on your right side, from your shoulder all the way down to your ankle, hopefully. Breathe deeply and relax your face. Now that we're on our backs and you might be able to concentrate a little bit more, see if you can come back to that equal breath. So you can count in to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you can count out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take one more. Okay, now switch sides by coming back to center first, maybe just a quick long stretch.
Awesome.
And then from center, take your feet to the left. I'm sorry, to the right, so the opposite side.
Right.
Keep your hips where they are and take your shoulders to the right, in the same direction as your feet.
She gives really, really good comments.
Okay, and stay here.
So, really good
wherever
job
you are.
to her.
You can cross your ankles as an option.
Like,
Experiment with
directions
one
are
ankle
always on point.
and then the other.
Never lost it.
And then you can also experiment with taking your arms up overhead. Maybe you just cross hand to wrist. Maybe you cross hand to elbow. And once again, see if you can press your left hip and your left shoulder down toward the floor. If that is really easy for you and you want to go a little bit deeper, or you're working with your breath and feel like you can go deeper, you can, again, walk your shoulders a little bit further over, or your feet. Focus on your equal breathing to the count of 5 on your inhale and the 5 on your exhale, and we'll take a couple more breaths in this position.
I like that she combines here breathing practice and the stretching. She explained the breathing practice in the beginning, so and now in the end she does breathing practice again. This is quite good and makes the whole thing round. So it's very, very lovely.
Okay, release by coming back to center. Maybe give it a quick stretch just from a straight position, arms up overhead, point your toes. And then come into a little ball. So you're going to round your spine now. Bring your knees toward your chest. Try to keep your hips and your shoulders flat to the floor and reach your hands around your knees. Maybe opposite hand to opposite wrist. Maybe opposite hand, ooh, popped my hip, to opposite elbow. That felt good. Press your low back down. Keep your neck nice and long. Stretch is very good for your low back, your hips, hip flexors. All right, release. All right, I left about 3 minutes here for a final Shavasana. Again, one of the things that makes yoga unique from other just stretching classes or stretching after your workout. So since you really accessed a lot of your body, well, hopefully you felt like you got to your whole body and you've been connected to your breath. You just get to come into a full release posture. So you're gonna extend your legs long, let your feet fall open.
You can do this also.
Your arms are gonna rest alongside your body, maybe a little out away from your body with your palms facing up. Your fingers are nice and soft. And then you gaze up toward the ceiling or the sky. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it at the top. Let it go through your mouth. And now you can let go of your focus on your breath and just come back to the natural rhythm of your breath. Just like you were falling asleep, so you don't have to count your inhales or your exhales or make them long or slow or deep. You just get to breathe naturally and normally. And then take a moment here to feel just the weight of your body laying on the floor supporting the weight of your body, coming into a state of complete and total relaxation. And just take one moment here to just observe or notice the difference in each part of your body, how you feel, the difference of how you feel now, as opposed to at the beginning of this practice when you first sat down. If you're enjoying your Shavasana, please stay as long as you'd like. The longer the better, always. When you're ready to get up, please take it slowly by rolling off to one side or the other first, and then slowly pressing your way up to a seated position. Thank you so much for practicing yoga today, for taking care of your body, for connecting to your breath, for taking time for yourself.
Ooh. Boop, boop.
Hope you enjoyed your full body class, deep stretch class. From the light in me to the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste. Did she say the light in me sees the light in you? Okay, agree. Yeah, that's a good one. Lovely, lovely class. Lovely class. So this was 5 Parks Yoga. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed that. And right now, we're going a little bit further to breathing, mantra singing, and meditation. Because breathing practice we've already done. Welcome everybody. How are you doing? Good to have you. Ah, finally coming back, you know, to out of this stretching practice. And you know, it wasn't really sweaty. It wasn't at all. I would give it like 3 out of 5 stars. But it was really good. Don't get me wrong, it was really, really good. So maybe 3.5 stars. Because, you know, just the main part that was missing was like a little warm-up. Just this little tiny warm-up of like, just, you know, maybe a little bit of jumping. Maybe a little bit of like getting your body warm before stretching. At least in my opinion, there needs to be something. There needs to be something. This is my opinion. Again, this can differ from person to person. And other than that, she gave very, very good instructions. And the minor thing that I was like annoyed by was the one that she instructed like with like, oh yeah, come to this sit and then push yourself off. Like she really instructed this sit here and then push yourself off here. This is just, you know, my feet stay on the ground. I can lift my feet off like this. That's no chance here. I would need to have like super crazy belly muscles and everything to be able to pull my feet off the ground here. That just doesn't work out. That just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Because then she just put her legs over, you know, and kind of like interlace them in full lotus. And yeah, of course, then you can push up. And it's easier than your legs are kind of like holding together. But here my feet are just pushing in the floor. And if I push myself up, my feet just stay on the floor. So I put my feet forward. And she also kind of like gave that option first. And this was kind of like easier to do than the other one, the one that she instructed first. But you know, it's always recorded in one go, so I think it was. So good job to her. It's already also an older video, like 5 years old. Again, if you like to check it out, go check out 5 Parks Yoga. It's good, you know, it's not bad. Not bad. But you know, not as mark chilling as like, or bone mark chilling as last week's lesson with Lars. It was just completely amazing, completely awesome. And he was really speaking out of my heart as we went through the yoga lesson. And you know, it was difficult. It was not really a beginner lesson, but it's difficult, a lot of strength involved, and I liked it a lot. And you know, I also need to connect a little bit more with stretching, so probably we're going to do a little bit more stretching through these Fridays here, you know, to just learn a little bit more stretching things here on stream, so I also can start to teach them and feel more comfortable with them. So for example, what we didn't do was like the one that of course like somewhat expected, like pigeon pose. We didn't go into that. Instead we had a lot of other funny things like leaning to the side, so on. Yeah, it was great. If you have any questions, by the way, feel free to ask always. I'm here for you. My name is Marcel. I'm a certified yoga teacher. So my name is Marcel Gru, and yeah, happy to have you today. And right now we're going for mantra singing and then meditation. So if you like to join in, welcome. So through the end of like, slowly it's getting to the end of April, slowly. And yeah, until the end of April, we're going to sing the Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu mantra. Afterwards, we're going to change it up. You know what? Let's quickly check which mantra we can sing next. This is forbidden. This kind of I can't sing. We could sing the ahum soham hamza. Ahum soham hamza. Or we are yeah, we're just taking an easy one. Namah Shivaya, I guess Panchaksari Mantra. So Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namo Namaha. I like that a lot, by the way. That's one. But this one will be the next that we're practicing in the next month. So yeah, excited to be practicing this the next month. Maybe we're quickly writing it down. By the way, we could also do a long stream today, or at least until 2 o'clock. I think about it, but nah, probably not. No, probably not. But yeah, this mantra will be the next Panchaksari Mantra. I don't know a Panchaksari Mantra if I'm saying it right, but it's going like this: Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namo Namaha. That's the whole mantra, and it's very, very easy again. Kind of like the same or even easier as the Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu mantra. And let me tell you something about these mantras. They always have a meaning. They always have a meaning. Good. For example, this Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu mantra has the meaning of let the entire world be happy. Good. And we're going to sing this mantra together right now. And you know what? You can come a little bit closer. You can come a little bit closer today. Welcome. That looks all right. Should be good. Yeah, should be good. You know. Good. I think that's all right. Yeah, that's good. So, dear friends, let's start. If you need to drink something, drink something. And of course, there's a vibrational quality to this mantra, or these mantras. This vibrational quality travels through your body and maybe connects to something. So just feel how it is for you. And again, the meaning of the mantra is let the entire world be happy. If you like to sing along, feel free to sing. If you like to whisper, feel free to whisper. If you like to listen, just listen. And we're going for a few minutes. 3 minutes. Let's go, let's start. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Slowly come out of it. There's no need to hurry. Coming out of it slowly. Good job. How does your body feel right now? And right now, we're going further. A little bit of meditation. If you'd like to join in, we're going for 25 minutes and then 5 minutes of Shavasana. If you like to get out earlier, you can do so. You can go get out after 5 minutes, after 2, 10 minutes, whatever, whenever you feel like, oh yeah, you know what, I had enough. Feel free to come out of it. And you see, there's like the everything is explained on the right side right now. However, I'm going to guide you into that, so don't worry about it too much. I'm going to guide you in that, and there's also the timer that starts right now. If you're not seeing each other again, if you're heading out before like the meditation is over, drop a bye in the chat, and hope to see you very, very soon again. And then I wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful night, wherever you are in the world. And right now, let's start. Come to a wonderful sit. Feels good to you. Feel how your feet are rooted to the floor. And we see each other in about 25 minutes and 30 minutes again. 30 minutes. And sit up tall. Start to focus on your inhale. Focus on your exhale. Without changing your breath. Just observing what there is. And every time you lose the connection to your breath, observe your thoughts. Let go of your thoughts softly. And come back to your breath. Preferring the breath again. So one more time. Whenever you lose the connection to your breath, observe your thoughts. Really take as long as you like. Observe your thoughts. Let them go softly, like wind. It's passing through. Let them go again. And come back to your breath. Preferring your breath. Knowing that all of this is your journey. So one day you might be with your thoughts the whole time. That's alright. One day you might be completely focused on your breath the whole time. That's alright. Knowing that your journey is perfect the way it is. At any point in time, if you need to change your sitting position, please do so. I will be quiet right now for the next 30 minutes. Sorry about that. And slowly lie down on your back, connecting one more time with your breath and then releasing your breath. Lying down on your back. Extend your leg, feet are facing away from each other. Bring your arms by your sides, palms are pointing up. Tuck your chin in a little. And just be. Start to move your fingers. Start to move your toes. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs. And whenever you feel ready, lean to one side. Yawn if you need to. And slowly come out of it. Woo. Good. Welcome back. How did this yoga lesson feel to you today? I hope you enjoyed. Without further ado, feel free to join the Discord. Tomorrow we have the men's circle. If you'd like to join in there, if you'd like to get to know more about that, what is that, a men's circle, feel free to ask me. It's not going to be live on stream, but it's going to be confidential and private. And yeah, with that said, we see each other tomorrow again for the next yoga lesson at 4 p.m. GMT +2. The wonderful Saturday coming up. And yeah, all the best to you. All the best to you. And let's go and rate somebody. We're always rating with love. We are always rating with love. So let's check out who we can rate today. Maybe some fitness streamer, you know, some small fitness streamer. Sending this guy some love. Ooh, this music. That's a rerun. It's nothing. Muscle cow. Muscle cow it is. Muscle cow. Let's send out some love to the muscle cow right now. And all the best to you guys. Let's check them out. And we see each other very, very soon again. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. GMT +2. If you'd like to join in, you know, always feel free to ask questions, have requests. You know, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And Friday we have, as you've seen today, we have YouTube yoga here. If you have like any requests on like what kind of yoga lesson to do next, let me know. Other than that, we see each other very, very soon, hopefully. And all the best to you. With that said, let's head over to the muscle cow and let's give him some love. Bye bye. See you soon. See you soon.